This is Dr. Jacques Petrie here for Rare Disease Day, and here at the Golden Gate Yacht Club with Bullpen. I have Lee Buckler here with the Blood Centers of America. So good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks, Doc. It's great to be here.
Yeah, so if you could tell us what got you here, how did you get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been kind enough to be invited to be part of the Bullpen, which I think is a great little ecosystem of peer-to-peer sort of exchange and support for particularly early-stage companies, providing the kind of infrastructure and innovation needed for a lot of the biotech industry. I'm particularly focused on cell and gene therapy, so I'm involved in a number of different initiatives involved in investing in the tools, technologies, and service infrastructure necessary to bring particularly cell therapies to patients as we see more and more of them come through the clinical pipeline and being brought into commercial delivery.
That's amazing. And what in your background got you involved with this?
Well, I've been 23 years now in cell therapy. So before really cell therapies were approved commercially, I've been involved in almost every side of the business. So on the tools and technology side originally, and then through several nonprofit organizations, and then the contract manufacturer, and then actually running a therapeutics company itself. And then now I'm back to my first love, which is building the tools and technologies and service infrastructure necessary. So
that's amazing. And with all the work that you're doing, what really excites you about 2024 in terms of the goals and objectives?
I mean, I think, the 23 was really one of the big buzzwords and hallmarks of 2023, I think in the sector that I serve at least, was patient accessibility. So we've been able to clinically prove that these therapeutics are remarkably effective in saving patients' lives. We've been able to get the FDA to approve them. We've been able to treat hundreds, thousands of patients with them, but we're still treating only a fraction of the patients eligible for these therapies. And wow. Whether those are rare diseases, whether those are widely, broad diseases, chronic diseases, acute diseases, we are only, even now, treating a fraction of the patients eligible for them, clinically eligible. And as we approve more, and Peter Marks of the FDA is predicting by next year we're going to be approving 10 to 20 of these a year, we have to be able to build out the infrastructure to deliver these patients, to deliver these therapies to patients more effectively, more locally, cost effectively. And so there's just this focus and a thirst and a drive to make these therapies accessible to patients.
Yeah, and what do you think have been the barriers in the past that have prevented it from being more accessible to
patients? It's a bunch of things, right? It has been traditionally manufacturing capacity. It's been sometimes reagent capacity. It's been, but it's reimbursement, it's cost. But I think one of the areas that I'm particularly focused on is, right now, I'll segue for a moment. I was at the International Society for Cellular Therapy meeting in Paris earlier this year, and there was a doctor, just an oncologist, describing the pain clinically and administratively of keeping patients alive while their CAR T cell therapy was being manufactured. These are autologous cell therapies. So it sometimes takes weeks to manufacture these products, and these patients are literally dying in the bed waiting for these patients. And so, every day that you can shorten the manufacturing time, every day that you can make the therapy happen faster. And these are also, keep in mind, still being delivered largely in urban centers with large oncology centers. And so families have had to move and live in an entirely new city for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, while their family member goes through treatment regimen after treatment regimen after treatment regimen. And so that's, people are remortgaging their homes to keep their family member alive. And so if you can also bring any step of that closer to them, where they can stay at home. You can do the apheresis at home. You can do the infusion at home. You can maybe even manufacture in that local city as opposed to centralized. So I'm particularly excited about all of the engineering, the manufacturing, and the commercial innovations we can make to radically improve patient accessibility.
That's amazing. And in terms of the bullpen, what are the ways that the bullpen and the community can support you, your goals, and your initiatives?
You know, I think one of the things that's self-evident is that this is the solutions are multifactorial. The solutions lie as much in innovating around the apheresis as it does in the manufacturing, it does in the testing, as it does in the delivery. And so it requires for-profit entities, it requires nonprofit organizations, it requires clinicians, investors, operators, you know, just the whole fabric of biotech, clinical, commercial, operational infrastructure. And the nice thing about the bullpen is it throws together people on the bleeding edge of innovation to facilitate peer-to-peer exchange, to try and expedite the way that we innovate, the speed at which we innovate, and the effectiveness of our innovations.
That's awesome. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add that we haven't covered.
No, I think it's, you know, it's tremendously exciting to be here. Thank you to the bullpen for creating this environment where we can mix and share stories and share asks and I think it's a terribly exciting time to be in the cell and gene therapy space. Which is driving more and more of the biotech sector and more of the clinical innovations that we're seeing. So I'm super excited to be here in San Francisco this week, and particularly excited to be here at the Golden Gate Yacht Club participating in the bullpen.
That's awesome. And if you want to learn more about Lee Buckler and the work that he's doing, you can go to the bullpen.ventures website, and his link and profile are there.